Stream lectures. And before we get started this afternoon, I just want to take a moment to thank all of my supporters and everyone for supporting my channel. And with that being said, let's get on down to today's lecture, which is even if you are self-employed, aka working for yourself. Let me break this thing down to you, world. You still will have to answer to someone. There is still going to have to be accountability and responsibility if you want to stay in business and self-employed for yourself and make money. You know, although I fully retired from state government, I'm retired military, I fully retired September of 2023. And but however, throughout my working history, you know, the last 25 years of my working history, I always simultaneously had my company, Patterson Associates Resource Center, simultaneously while I have been in the workforce all the way up to retirement. You know, I have a home office. I still make money under my company based off my credential as an addiction expert in my home office. So although I'm still self-employed, in order for me to continue to generate revenue under my company, to continue to generate revenue under my credential role, I still have to answer, number one, I have to answer to the credentialing board that governs my credential. I have to answer to stakeholders, where companies and trucking companies and employers who send me referrals to evaluate people who have failed the drug screen. I still have to answer to those stakeholders and produce my work and be accountable and responsible if I still want to get those referrals from those employers to continue to make money under my company. Because if I did not have those ongoing relationships and produce the work with those employers and those stakeholders, they would send all those referrals to someone else. And that would have a direct impact on the money that I can make under my company. So yeah, it's my company. Yeah, they're my credentials. Yeah, I have a home office, but I still have to answer to these stakeholders. I still have to schedule my appointments. I still have stakeholders meetings I have to go to cultivate and to develop and to nurture those business relationships with people if I want to stay in business, real talk. I still have to abide by the code of ethics that governs my license. I'm licensed in 3 states. I'm licensed as an addiction expert in the state of North Carolina. I'm licensed in the state of Georgia. I'm licensed in the state of Virginia. So my licensure boards, there are code of ethics that governs my behavior. And if I violate those code of ethics that governs my credential, the board can strip me of my license, people. So, oh yeah, I work for myself. I got my own home office, but I still have many people I have to answer to. Those credentialing boards, those stakeholders, those employers, my clients, real talk, if I want to stay in business. So when I hear people say things like, you know, I'm tired of working for folks and I'm going to work for myself. I'm going to open up my own company. I'm going to start my own company, no matter what your craft is. I don't care if you cosmetology or electrician, auto mechanic, do computers, you do catering, food, or you drive trucks as an independent contractor. You are still going to have to answer to somebody. You're going to have accountability and responsibilities to all those stakeholders if you want to stay in business. You can't just lay around all you want to. Get out of bed when you feel like it. If you're trying to run a business and you got stakeholders to answer to, clients to answer to, goods and services to deliver, or you would be out of business. You know, I mainly schedule my clients by appointment only on Monday and Tuesday because I control that. You know, I'm not trying to work every day in full retirement. No, I let stakeholders know my office hours are on Monday and Tuesday by appointment only. And if I'm booked, if I'm booked for those 2 days, you can go on my wait list or you can go to somebody else. Real talk, because I'm gonna control my schedule. I don't accept walk-ins. You have to call me and I will schedule you to be seen, no different from any other business. And like I tell folks, it don't matter if you work for yourself or you're an independent contractor, you got a home office, you are still going to have to answer to somebody if you want to keep making money, keep getting referrals, and keep answer to those stakeholders. Real talk. And if you are lazy, and call yourself finna go in business to try to generate revenue to live off that money, if you're behind is lazy, you ain't gonna last. If you're irresponsible, you ain't gonna last. If you ain't establishing relationships with those stakeholders and those clients, you ain't gonna last. Like I said, my company, Patterson Associates Resource Center, 24 plus years strong, and my brand is out there. And like I said, although I'm fully retired from the state of North Carolina and retired military, I've always made money under my company based off my credentials simultaneously while I've been in the workforce all the way up until my retirement. So now, since I'm fully retired, all that does is give me a whole lot of more time to continue to cultivate and to develop and to nurture my company, my brand, and establish those relationships with those stakeholders and those employers and those trucking companies so they can continue to send Marie Holiday referrals, which that has a direct impact on the revenue that I make under my company on a monthly basis. And my bank account ain't mad. Real talk. So just imagine for a moment that I stopped developing those relationships with those employers and those trucking companies was irresponsible, not in place when I schedule people to see me for these appointments they have to see me for, when I book them on my calendar to see them on a Monday or Tuesday, and I'm not here and they show up and they're reporting that back to their employer. That can have a negative impact on ongoing referrals, that'll have a negative impact on the revenue that I make under my company. Real talk, people. So I still have stakeholders meetings to go to. I still have to be in place. I still have ongoing, continuing educational training I have to go to maintain my credentials as an addiction expert in this field, people. So just because I'm working for myself, that don't mean I can stop doing all those things. Yeah, I can stop, but that will also put me out of business. And if I start with my ongoing continuing education for my credential, then when I get ready to re-credential with the board, the addiction board that governs my license, they will not renew my license when the time comes. Real talk. So I still have a whole lot of people I have to answer to at the same time while I'm in business for myself, working for myself, making under my credential, a code of ethics that I have to abide by. I have to maintain professional liability insurance to protect my credential in the amount of $3 million, people. So this is real talk. So I have that insurance company I have to answer to. I have to abide by their rules and regulations in order for them to insure me as an addiction expert, do what I do in my field to continue to make money under my company, under my license, and under my brand. Real talk. I got to stay abreast of all of the changes in the field of addiction. I have to stay on top of my game, meaning ongoing training, education, re-credentialing on a yearly basis, and I have to pay for that training if I want to remain in this profession. Real talk. So I have a whole lot of people I have to answer to. At the same time, running my own company, generating money under my company based off my license. And this has absolutely nothing to do with YouTube. The services that I provide under my company, under my brand, Patterson Associates Resource Center, don't have a doggone thing to do with being a YouTube content creator. No, my company has been around long before YouTube. Like I said, I've always made money under my company, under my brand, under my credential simultaneously while I was in the workforce all the way up until I retired. My last 25 years of working in the workforce, I had my company making money under my company, under my brand, under my credential, the last 25 years of being in the workforce. I have worked 41 plus years of my adult life, and I was about my business, people. Real talk. So I still had to answer to a lot of people, and I still have to answer to a lot of stakeholders if I want to keep my credential, if I want to continue to make money under my credential, if I want to continue to make money under my company in my home office. Real talk. So my spirit guided me to lecture on this, because I met a lot of people in the real world. I met a lot of people in the natural environment. I hear a lot of people on these social media platforms talking about, oh, I'm just going to quit my job and work for myself, so don't want nobody tell me what to do. Really? Trust me, I don't care what your craft is. You're going to have somebody to answer to. You're going to have stakeholders to answer to. You're going to have rules and regulations that you're going to have to abide by in order to continue to make money. You're going to have accountability and responsibility to deliver the goods, to deliver the services, no matter what your craft is, if you want to stay in business. I don't care if you're a mobile auto mechanic. If you're a mobile auto mechanic, and when you go through that process to schedule people to work on their car, you're going to have to be there on time. You're going to have to deliver the service, because it's about your brand. You can't arrange to set up to meet somebody that fits their vehicle. You're a mobile mechanic and it's a certain time. You agreed to be there and you don't show up, no show, no call. Try that and think if you're going to stay in business. Real talk. And I tell anybody, when you got your own company, you are even held at a higher standard, because it's about your product, your brand, your reputation. If you want to stay in business, my company name, Parrish and Associates, my brand out there. I've been doing what I've been doing as a licensed clinical addiction expert, as an expert DOT evaluator for 25 plus years. My brand is out there. Sometimes I get so many referrals, I have to put folks on a wait list. Real talk. My name is out there in the field of addiction, known expert people. I have paid my dues. I have paid and got the credentials to back them up. So yeah, although I work for myself, but I still have to answer to stakeholders. I still have to answer to my credentialing board. I still have to answer to employers. I still have to be audit ready, because at any given time my records could be audited. So my stuff got to be in order. Real talk. If I want to stay in business. So share this information in regards to, even if you work for yourself, I don't care what you're doing under your business, you are going to have to answer to someone. You got to answer to your clients. Number one, you're going to have to deliver the product, the service, the goods. If you're behind, want to stay in business. Real talk. That's all I have. Simplify, simple fidelis, and I'm going to leave you in the care of your own conscience. Have a great day.